Salutations to the Lord Parabrahma, to Shruti Mata, all Rishimuni Guru Devata Parambara. Salutations to you all, wonderful, deserving disciples of the entire Guru Parambara and devotees of the Lord and the Shrotas and the Jignasus, more than all the Mumukshus. Welcome. Till we experience the conscious self as the self, consciously we have to mind ourselves to be the conscious self. While doing so, consciously we have to give up or reject or eject away from or rise above everything which is not allowing this consciousness to manifest. And the more subtler, deeper we want to be in our sadhana, more harder, vigorous we have to be knowing and doing this practice. Means, what is that which is not allowing me to experience my own conscious self, whatever it may be? They are deeply rooted vasanas, they are deeply rooted convictions, they are deeply rooted habits. Then that these three and many other so forcefully they take us into that type of doing or being in which pushed we are not even remembering also that this is our goal, that we have to allow the self, the conscious self, to manifest within us. So good example is what that Israel is doing. Chun chunkar marna, whoever is terrorizing. In the same way, in our own hearts, chun chunkar hamena, we have to remove the obstacles. Chun chunkar, we have to invoke all the positive qualities, gunas, traits. This intense, deep, totally engrossing, involving way of life is called as Adhyatmika Sadhana. Whether you call it in the language of Jnana Ajnana purely, whether you call it in the knowledge of the three gunas, whether we call it in the language of the values, which are the values which are not allowing the self to manifest. We have to catch them, we have to reject them. That they very much deeply. We have not gone to search it. So, to which are the values really help in in the expression of the self, which we have to by our efforts gather them. We must know. You call them as values, they call them as disciplines, traits, naam kuch bhi do. Some things at the upadhi level are very obstructive for self experience. We should know which are they. They are all fully, widely described, explained in the entire Shastras, as Jnani Lakshanas, Bhakta Lakshanas, Sthitaplagna Lakshanas, Daivi Lakshana. No, these are all not ordinary just for the sake of saying said. No, these are not just said so that the world is kept happy. No, they are not said so that we live a happy, peaceful, less tensed life. No, no, no. They are all byproducts. But the main purpose of all those values taught are only to make ourselves experience the self and allow the self alone, the pure Brahman, to express, manifest through us. So, in the language of values, so too in the language of the gunas, which are the gunas predominant in me, which are the gunas to be expressed through me, conscious all the time. and the relation between our thoughts entertained, the world involved in, and the gunas invoked. There we have to be strict, ruthless. There's no way means no way. Then avoiding those involvements and those thought traits which invoke the obstruction creating negative gunas of rajas and tamas. We can never avoid this topic in spirituality. Having the rajogunatmaka vritti and rajasika pravritti outside. So to having dravyatmaka vrittis, tamasika, involving in the dravya of the outside so much, expecting us to have that sattva guna which makes us introverted, which is required for our deeper contemplation on the knowledge given of the Upanishads about the self. We are only joking. We are just taking things for granted. It never happens just because it never happened to anyone and it is never going to happen to anyone in future. Tattva revelation happens only when we have Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva comes when we generate and rightly utilize the Sattva. Sattva becomes predominant only when the other two, Rajo, Tamo, are totally given up, sacrificed, risen above, etc. These are the statements of facts. How clearly we are theoretically understanding them, how clear we are in knowing what is the practical thing to be done really to achieve this, therefore doing them. This deeply involved, maturely involved with all crystal clear understanding of what he has to achieve, what he has to do to that achievement, to achieve that, is called as spiritual maturity, spiritual sadhana. Not just spiritual sadhana, some upasana, some japa, they're all sometimes, become escapisms for the higher sadhana. The same things which are at one level useful to pull us towards spirituality, at later stage they becomes obstructions for us, not allowing us to go to the higher deeper sadhanas. इसलिए एक guru, when he speaks to those disciples, while talking he seemingly talking as if denying these sadhanas. He is addressing those straight of students who have finished the things at this level. They need to go to the higher. Not knowing this, that the lower level people say, how come that guru is saying that don't need to do this one? Vice versa. The people at the higher level, the students listening to the guru for the higher sadhana, when they listen, the other gurus who are addressing the lower level sadhakas, कि देखो ये करो जप करो पूजा करो, then they also say what is that guru misguiding them? You should tell the higher sadhanas. Both the gurus are right, the stupid disciples are the followers or the onlookers are wrong. At one stage, what sadhanas which are very necessary, them they alone have to be given up for taking up the higher ones. So, in this way, being conscious about our goal, that the conscious self we have to experience, in our effort to become conscious of that conscious self in us, we have to be careful to understand consciously what are the abstractions that are there, whether you call them at the actions level, values level, the gunas level, or any vasanas level, habits level, every one of them to be taken out and thrown away. The obstructions ones and which are helpful, they have to be consciously brought and developed. This understanding is called spirituality, and for this, no waiting. Waiting is only the delusion of the mind, cheating of the mind. Is it not very hungry, waiting to eat the food? When you are Deceased, waiting to go to the doctor. No, these are all nonsense. They are the sheer signs of utter tamoguna. When you're hungry, eat the food and drop the topic. When the disease, go to doctor, get the medicine, come out. Prolonging is a lethargy, indolence. Another procrastination. कहते हैं ना. So here also, once the thing is clear for what we are waiting, that waiting is again tamoguna, which brings other rajoguna, by which this satoguna is postponed, sometimes forgotten for a long period of time. Hmm. Same thing called in other languages jnana ajnana. This is more crucial than the other three things of the gunas or the, let us say, the values or the pravrittis. Whether our outer pravrittis conducive to the sadhana or not, our values conducive to the sadhana or not, our trigunatmika prakriti conducive to sadhana or not. This understanding, this whole change depends on the subtlemost thing called as jnana ajnana. If we don't have the correct jnana, we are under the influence of ignorance. What ignorance does is this only. At the nature level, we value rajotamo. At the values level, we value those which take us away from truth. So, to in practice, we are only involved in which, in those fields where the world is made more real, the spirituality is more covered. Ajnana Vashat. That is why in the pure Vedantic language of Advaita or Vedanta or Adi Shankara, he says the whole Mula Karana for everything is Avidya or Ajnana. As long as it remains, it goes on giving its consequences of all this what we said. Therefore, what is the first and foremost thing is Jnana, Shastra Jnana. Through the Shastra Jnanam, the glory of the Tattva, the necessity of experiencing the Tattva, the sense of urgency, the commitment for that, and our own conviction to achieve, these are all the aspects of Jnana. And in that aspect of Jnana only, to achieve these are all the obstructions. This is informative Jnana. Then these obstructions at every cost and price, I am going to get rid of, throw them away. This is the Jnanam again. We all lack this one. Our type of spirituality is what? Chalne do. Like our children, whatever useless qualities they have, 9 बजे तक उठेंगे, कोई काम नहीं करेंगे. They sit like buffalo. All these gunas of them, we encourage them because they are our children, grandchildren. Isn't it? एक डंडा मार के उठा के सब कराना चाहिए उनको. But our attachment, never makes us do those disciplinary actions. Mm. Even if you try to do, you will be failure and you will be given up or insulted. The children, grandchildren become angry because they don't love those things. As long as you are not troubling them in their laziness, they were loving you. Today's world, I'm just telling. Children blackmail the parents, grandparents to justify their lazinesses, excuses because they know they are attached to them. Parent grandmothers don't know, they don't feel that because my attachment, I'm spoiling that fellow. This is how the less matured, uncreative, less talented, less useful, more useless liabilities are born or grown, sent to the society. Those useless fellows, instead of working hard and adding to the sampada of the world of all aspects, they only become liability, consumer. कोई कुछ कहा तो या रोएंगे या आत्महत्या करेंगे या इमोशनल हो जाएंगे या कोई टेररिस्ट गुंडा बनेंगे. How at the factory called as a home, the ignorant fellows called parents create the nuisance and send to the world a proof, an example, because of attachments. In the same way, we lack this wisdom that ruthlessly I have to reject these things to put me on myself on the path. Our attitude is चलेगा, but चलेगा तो फिर साधना नहीं होगा ना. नहीं होने दो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But then you went to the class, you heard the master. At that time, you felt like, that no, I must know the truth for that. हाँ, पता नहीं वो था उस समय mood. Now I am not disturbed by that. I am not disturbed by the inspiration given by the guru in the class. कब देखेंगे जब क्लास में जाएंगे. This way, we continue indulging in same objects, same beings, same topics, which are tamoguni, rajoguni creating, which are of the negative values, habits, which are obstruction for the introvertedness, for the research on the self, for the meditational desires, abilities, and practices. There we are. This way, day by day, month by month, year by year, life by life goes on going. In only in the non-spiritual way. I'm talking all this to those who are on the name of spirituality, coming to classes, taking, listening, reading some books. उनकी बात कह रहे हैं हम, जो पूरे दुनिया में फंस गए. Why should we talk about them? We are talking about us only, who have shown that seriousness, sincerity in being regular. But that is the only first step, not the last. The last is this, consciously experiencing ourself to be that blissful, infinite, conscious being. For that, pursuing consciously that path of consciousness, while doing which we should be very clear consciously which are the helping, which are non helping. Gunas, the values, involvements in the world, of course, with the things, beings, and experiences. And accordingly, having the guts to say no, not once, twice, but once for all. And guts to say yes to the positive things, not once in a while, but once for all. Like we have guts to say no to everything between our morning 7:30 9:30 class. And we have guts to say, come what may, we will attend the class. What a tremendous achievement it is. You know, that guts, that strong decisions are overpowering all negative, paralyzing, demoralizing emotions of the mind, thoughts of the mind, of any sort. See, mind uses every weapon, no, to distract, about the subject not told properly, not understood, और दिस और दैट. अब मैं क्या बताऊं क्या क्या मन में गुजरते रहते हैं. All of them have such a power to take us away from classes, to which people have succumbed, those who have become irregular. But you and I have that guts, come what may, will have class, that is sustaining us in the class and putting us in touch with the subject in whatever the manner every day. It may not be the highest level, practically. It may not be. We will reach to that one day. But is this not a great achievement? The guts. And in our case, the guts are also more because of Guru Krupa and the Ishvara Krupa. Less because of our commitment. You know? When the time of testing comes, that time we have to see. You know? We don't want to be spiritual, yet our Guru and God pulls us to spirituality. That is majburi at one level. Higher level में Guru and God only are testing to push us away from spirituality. Yet it is our guts consciousness. That time fighting with Guru and God, denying them. What are you doing? You are putting me in such a manner that I go away from spirituality? No, I will not. That time is our test. वो प्रूव करता है कि वी आर फुल्ली कन्विंस्ड अबाउट स्पिरिचुअल गोल एंड स्पिरिचुअल साधना एंड विजन. ऐसे लोग भगवान गुरु भी आवे कहें कि बेटा अब छोड़ दो, नहीं क्यों छोड़ू, तुम्हें तो बोला है करने को पहले. आई कांट लीव इट. That is our test to our own guts. Anyway, In this way, as we really mean business in spirituality, not just a superficial fellows, deeply we involve. These are the thoughts while entertaining all the time. We have to not only keep ourselves on the path, but very perfectly, very vigorously, very consciously. And in this effort, whatever have to be sacrificed, the guts to sacrifice them is really enormous. Remember, it is great. Very few have that. Many give up, but again they take up and they get lost. Some people like they give up smoking a week, again they take up. Drinking a week, again they take up. TV at 2 seconds, again they take up. Going with friends to do nonsense, they give up for 1 day, 2 days, but again they get bored because they have not inspired themselves for the higher goal. Again they get lost in that. है ना 3 दिन मैं न्यूज़पेपर नहीं पढ़ूंगा सब खचरा है दिमाग खराब कर रहा है fourth day again he studies because you have not got the habit of studying the shastras at that time, isn't it? Boredom, फिर back to square one. And then not having the higher goals, therefore feeling bored when we are kept empty. Still, third one is still the vasanas that are lingering in us, they're not fully roasted, no? They take away from the spirituality again into the worldliness. इन सब से अपने आप को गार्ड करने के लिए कुछ हाईएस्ट लेवल ऑफ अवेयरनेस वी हैव टू डेवलप that we are spiritual seekers, that this is the spiritual goal, that these are the sadhanas to be done, that and these are the things to avoid the impurity. This full awareness, is called spiritual beginning. While doing so, all the negatives goes away, all the subtlety start coming. Then the deeper sadhanas happen to us. Both deeper understandings of the Shastra, second, deeper sadhana. That alone takes us away from the so conspicuous, so strong upadhi level of life. Takes us away from that and to that nirupadhika tattva we will be able to travel. May all our efforts be empowered with all these wisdoms, convictions, and initiatives by the grace of the God Guru and our own prayers to them and our own personal conscious chosen efforts. Om, 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 Om Sahana Vavadu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Om Namo Brahmadibhyo, Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo, Om ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरम् ओम गुरुपुङ्गवपुङ्गवकेतनते समतामयतां नहि कोऽपि सुधीः शरणागतवत्सलतत्त्वनिधे भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् ओम ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः श्री ऐतरेय उपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः ऐतरेय महर्षे नमः वेदव्यास महर्षे नमः आदिशंकर महर्षे नमः अस्मत् गुरुभ्यो नमः तेषां सर्वेषां ऋषिमुनिगुरुदेवतानां श्रुतिमातु परब्रह्मणः अस्माकं गुरूणां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मवैदिकहैन्दव संस्कृतेः शास्त्राणां ज्ञानानां साम्प्रदायानां प्रक्रियाणां भक्तियोगवेदान्तधर्मादिसत्साधनानां पुनरुत्थान पुनर्जागरण समस्त विश्वव्याप्ति द्वारा समस्त विश्व जीवानाम आध्यात्मिक प्रगति द्वारा विश्व शांति एकता कल्याण पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थम अस्मिन् सनातन धर्म आध्यात्मिक प्रतिष्ठा कार्ये कंकणबद्ध अस्माकं सह समस्त भक्त साधक सेवकानां सदा सर्वदा भगवद्गुरूणां कृपया पूर्णायुरारोग्यैश्वर्य क्षेमस्थैर्यादि सत्शक्ति संपदा सानुकूल्यता साधनानां प्राप्ति बाह्यभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन प्रणालिकाबद्ध कर्मण द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्य दिग्विजयार्थम श्री ऋग्वेद अंतर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषद पारायणम आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनम वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम मनस्तापतमशान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभाभाति तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्। ओम अथ श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयारण्यकांतर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषद शांति मंत्रः। ओम वांग मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य माणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् संदधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्ववतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम। लास्ट मंत्र। ओम तस्मादिदंद्रो नाम इदंद्रो हवै नाम तमिदंद्रं संतं इंद्र इति आचक्षते परोक्षेण परोक्षप्रिया इव हि देवाः परोक्षप्रिया इव हि देवाः। We have exhaustively seen 12 mantras of this third khanda of Prathamodhyaya. Up to this is the whole thing Adhyaropa. 13th mantra, the Apavada. Adhyaropa practically happened. Now we are suffering as a jiva, the three avasthas through identity with the three upadhis or dehas. Apavada theoretically heard but should be thoroughly understood. That also to be practically done. till the apavada of the Adhyaropa happens in the revelation of the experience of our own essential self. Strengthening our knowledge in these aspects is the purpose and the right way of studying the Upanishads. So the 13th mantra told us about the Apavada aspect. And in that, everything is so important, so beautiful, so precise, so complete, but a highest level. When we don't have those samskaras or abilities to catch that highest level, we miss them. Isn't it? Kadachit paramakarunikeena acharyena, and then atma jnana, है ना, देने वाला जो चीज़ों को, है ना, आत्मज्ञान प्रबोधकृत शब्दिकायाम वेदांत महावाक्या भेर्याम तत्कर्णमूले ताड्यमानायाम. See, every word is so deep, so important, so perfect, so to be taken so carefully into the heart. Such are the topics which, only the blessed ones get clear understanding, and that is enough to put them in the highway of spirituality with a 5 number gear of the car. Zoom, we will go. Those who can't understand such sublime things, they are still in the service road, not able to catch the highway, and in the service road traffic, coming and going and overtaking and all. He is not able to move properly. Our lives are like that. But these things, when he said, when an Acharya comes in our life, he is an expression of the divine and is Paramakarunika. Who is that Acharya? Define it. Everybody cannot be Acharya. Everybody need not be, should not be the Guru. Very clear. Atma Jnana Upadesha Krut. Atma Jnana Prabodha Krut, not Upadesha. आत्म ज्ञान में हमको प्रबोधन करने वाले वेदांत महावाक्य शब्दों को बार बार हमको पढ़ाने वाला ही द करेक्ट आचार्य. Like for Lakshmana Swami, the Rama became Acharya, who was so vigorously doing the prabodhanam of Lakshmana to his own Atma Jnana. Repeatedly in each of shloka, the lucky are the ones who are listening to evening the Rama Gita Shastra in the Adhyatma Ramayana. Every Upanishadic Guru, every Acharya worth naming does this only. And this should be our attitude, that he is Paramakarunika, and for my own sake he is talking, and in his talk, for me only, for my own Atma Jnana Prabodha, he is using all the Shabdas. In the Shabdas, there may be Atma Swarupa Jnanam. In their Shabdas, there may be the preparatory instructions. In those Shabdas, there may be to put me on the right track, there may be scoldings, there may be advices. All that Paramakarunika Acharya to make me Prabodha to my own Atma Jnana is using all the Shabdas. And among the Shabdas, highest is Vedanta Mahavakya. And why this Guru is talking so many times? Why he is scolding me? Why can't he tell and leave me to my own decision and life? After all, it is my life. That day when this thought comes to the children regarding parents, to the Sishyas, to the Guru, the Shishya and the child in them has died. They can no more be benefited by the true parenthood nor by the true teacherhood. The question, the moment the why comes, so that why is replaced here by what? Bheri. Another Bheri na the Guru is doing. That Bheri can be felt in 3 times. One is what? When an entertainment is there in the town, the Bheri Nada goes on to announce. Is it not? Second is when there is a yuddha coming up from the enemies, the Bheri Nada is done to wake up everyone, get all the bows and arrows and ammunition, go and attack them. The third Bheri Nada is done is to wake up the Raja who is sleeping there. But in all the three aspects, the Bherinada is taken positively. If that Bherinada is taken by the listeners as negative, then they don't deserve it. Like early morning, Ghantanadam, Shankadvani, Mantrocharana. If somebody takes as disturbance to their morning sleep, they are the Rakshasas. Unfortunate fellows they are. That society is gone. But if it is taken as the wake up call, they are the lucky ones. Sound remains same. Guru Upadesha remains the same. How we take depends on our nature, and how we take decides whether we use it rightly or we go away from it. So the Raja in me is woken up by these Vedanta Mahavakyas, telling me to have the celebrations of spiritual sadhana in which we, Dava Bolna, do the Yuddha on all our negativities and ignorances to become victorious by gaining the positivities and spiritual knowledge and experience. Bheri Ninadam. I'm focusing on this every of the word because it's so beautiful, so wonderful, short and precise. ऐसे महान बहुत बढ़िया टॉपिक बार बार नहीं दिखते हमको. Can we take the Guru Upadesha as Bherinada to wake us up, to make us do the Yuddha and conquer the enemies, and thus celebrate? Celebrate the spiritual touch, spiritual experience, spiritual evolution, and reaching the spiritual acumen. And if all these three are done by him, let us say this is the outcome. What is the outcome? After the Bherinada, Tat Karanamule Tadyamanayam, then he realizes, Yetameva Srushtyadi Kartruttvena Prakrutam Purusham Purishayanam Atmanam Brahma Bruhattatamam Takarena Ekena Luptena Tatatamam Vyaptatamam Paripurnam Akashvat Pratyabudhyata Avashyata. He has awakened to that. Yourself, the Brahman who is infinite, all pervading, complete, like the space, which is said as Brahma in the Upanishads, which is all pervading because Tatatama, which is bigger than the biggest, because it is Bruhatu. And this same Brahman in this particular Upanishad, just for our attention awareness, taken as the creator of the world or explained as the creator of the world. But ऐसा प्रक्रिया है, इन सबका कोई मतलब नहीं. Matlab is to awaken to that Brahman, that it is me. And that himself asking the question, Shankara, giving the answer. देखो ना, और पद्धति जो है कितना सुंदर है. What is that question? Before the question he says कि Pratyabudhyata, which is the word of the mantra. What is the meaning of Pratyabudhyata? Apashyat. He has seen, visualized. Katham, how he has seen or visualized that Brahman? Very important question. कैसे, किस तरह का अनुभव है उनका? He says कि इदम ब्रह्मा मम आत्मनः स्वरूपम and adarsham दुष्टवान अस्मि. This is the ultimate place. Idam Brahma Mama Atmanaha Swarupam. This Brahman, which is explained with all qualities in the above 5-6 lines, this is the nature of my own essential self. And this Adarsham, this I have directly, I got the Aparokshanuvati, experience of it. Iti. This is the realization. When I realize that Brahman to be my own self, then there is a moksha, liberation. He has experienced it. Iti. Then aho iti. Vicharanartha pruti purva. है ना, दैट विचारण विश्लेषण पूरा. अब पृथ्वी क्या है? दर्शम इति. इन दैट इति he might be contemplating on the first stages when he was in the utter worldliness, when the guru or spirituality was knocking his door, how rejecting he was, how feeling the disturbed he was, how he was feeling the bitterness that my beautiful enjoyment of worldliness is disturbed by this guru. That initial stage, say, he was going through. Whatever the stages he has grown through, whatever the reasons, Guru Krupa, Ishwar Krupa, Samashti Krupa, one's own Punya Phala, parents blessed, his own little effort by taking chance, अबे सब मिलकर. So he was remembering all those stages. And the stages of Krupa Karuna Yukta teaching of the Guru when he wholeheartedly approached. Thereafter, when the Guru gave full freedom to do sadhana, when he was doing sadhana, it was so tremendous, so difficult. Again, failing in that, going at the feet of the Guru. Guru is empowering with all his tapashakti and all. And with the help of that, he is able to conquer those obstructions, pierce through those breakthroughs. And in that way, through these every step of sadhana, finally reached. So, iti कहते हुए, he must be going through. Like some of you, if you have done, let us say, चार धाम यात्रा, अब बैठकर आंख बंद करके देखो, शुरू से when somebody propose let's go to, कहाँ जाना है चार धाम, घर में ही चार धाम है, वेदांति लोग बोलते हैं कि नहीं बिस्तर पे चार धाम है, कहाँ जाना. From that standpoint, when that person coaxed us, inspired us, then reluctantly we decided, we accepted. Then we just okay said. Then the tickets were booked. Then we boarded various vehicles and we reached there. And the veneration, the awesomeness, the beauty of the journey, the purity there, the places, the Rishi Muni seated in the form of trees and mountains doing the meditation. In that, which was never found in those hustle and bustle of the tree of the cities. And the beautiful, the waterfalls, the Gangaji flowing, Yamunaji flowing, Mandakini flowing, Alakananda flowing, Bhagirathi, उन सबको देखते देखते है ना, you are in along when you are there, as we were in the world of absolute worldliness, we were surrounded by equally and worse than us the worldly useless people. But when you are on the pilgrimage, more deeper, devoted, sincere, ardent bhaktas than us, we come to see only them. कोई ओम नमो नारायण बोल रहा है, ओम नमः शिवाय बोल रहा है, जय माता जी बोल रहा है, कोई स्तोत्र पढ़ रहा है, कोई भजन, कोई कीर्तन, कोई नाम संकीर्तन, टोटली डिफरेंट वर्ल्ड. And you went there, you stayed, you stood in line, you had the darshan. Then the moment you saw the Lord, the tears in your eyes, Bhagwan himself saying, good you came, I wanted to bless you. This tapasya was required for you to become qualified for my blessing. Here I am there, carry my impression and keep me always in your heart. Pray to me whenever whatever you want and I'll be guiding you, blessing you in this manner through these people. Get that guidance. टू अ ग्रेट रियल भक्ता, ये सारे भगवान के दर्शन के बाद पॉइजिंग मतलब काम एंड क्वाइटली सोचने से ये सब उपलब्धियां मिलते हैं. These are the ones for which God calls somebody to pilgrimage. Now, if you have all that vision, you understood, then other places also we saw. And en route, there were landslides were there, traffic jams were there, very cool breeze was there, snowing was there, big line in the rush, होटल मिला नहीं रहने को, ठीक खाना नहीं मिला, सर्दी पकड़ लिया. In spite of all that, we had a bath in cold waters. Isn't it? How do you remember all that yatra? And the joy of reaching भगवान, मैं तो सपने में भी नहीं सोचा कि ये हो सकता है. Thank God I agreed. You said if I really strongly denied, I would have missed this in life. In this life. कहते हैं कि नहीं, चार धाम का हो या अमरनाथ का हो या माता रानी का हो या कोई कैलाश मानसरोवर का हो. There's so many hundreds of beautiful places. पंचबद्री, पंच केदार, ओ सतोबंध या स्वर्गारोहण या ये सारे. India is beautiful in every direction. To have so many great places. The unknown, unseen are thousands. Unseen, unknown means we have not become famous. There are hundreds of places where the avatars have reached, and those places are worshipped as worship places even now, but by a family or two, three, but very powerful places. There are thousands of places in India where the Sapta Rishis and other Rishis and Mahabhaktas have graced those places which are so vibrant, unknown by us. The Vasishta Bhagavan stayed places only are there at least 10 in India. The Vishwamitra Sthalas are there 10, 20. और व्यास भगवान के कितने सारे स्थल हैं, कपिल महामुनि के कितने स्थल हैं, अगस्त्य महामुनि, अत्रि, भृगु, have you seen them? The Valmiki's ashramas. कितने सारे. Have you seen all the places of Lord Krishna visited, all places Rama? India is full of all these divine places. I'm just telling how that great fulfillment if you have made all those. So here the disciple, iti कहते हुए, maybe he was remembering both the Nirantara Krupa Rakshana of Guru Bhagavan and Shruti Mata, and he was available for that, and the journey was going on, going on, going on. He's accomplished that reaching of the destination. That's what he said. Idam Brahma Mama Atmanah Sarupam Adarsham Dushtavan. This Brahman is my own essential self. This I have experienced. Aho iti. Oh, what beautiful it is. How tough the journey, but how I took it up in spite of, and how God Guru blessed me, continuously empowered me, empowered. They have really encouraged me at every step of falling. Aho iti. Wonderful, no? Like in all the places, especially in the TV shows, you see, when a beautiful performance is done, and full of applause they have come, let's say a singing or a dance, how much these children, they thank their parents, their choreographers, the people who have helped, the friends who encouraged, because of all of them only we could achieve it today, and we also have put our efforts. दिखता है कि नहीं सारे? So to cricket, the really achieving players, batting or bowling, they'll have to thank wholeheartedly the coaching staff, the training staff, the helping staff who have helped them. एरोगेंट फेलोज दे क्लेम कि मैंने बनाया, दैट बेवकूफ़ी, एक दिन डंडा लगेगा उसको, बट द हम्बल सिंपल वंस नो इट. इट्स अ कृषि ऑफ 99 प्लस मी द 100 that it made happen. It happened because of those 99, and I was one. I am not the only one. No. So here also darshan. In that Parabrahma chosen to really reveal to me the devatas whose upasana I have done from thousands of lives, their blessings. The gurus in every life who have molded me, their blessing. In this life, right from beginning, each of the guru like doctor coming and treating me in the required manner at that time. And the Lord Himself sending various experiences through various situations, through various people to mold me towards this. And the final touches are by this Sadguru who gave Mahavakya Upadesha like a very nadam. And I was slumberous, stuporous to my own identity with the Upadis, Jagrasapna Sushukti. Now he has awakened me to the fourth Turiya Avastha. Aho iti. Wow, beautiful, no? Anybody, any businessman, when he achieves the higher heights, you'll think where he started at the scratch level. Who gave that first investment of 200, 500 rupees? Who has done the math of the, what do you call, the taxes in the beginning. टैक्स नहीं हो क्या कहते हैं उसको, वो लोन के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट होते ब्याज. चलो 2 साल के मैं कोई लोन का ब्याज नहीं लेता हूँ. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आई कुड सेव दैट मनी एंड इन्वेस्ट. नाउ आई एम एट दिस स्टेज. Every politician, highest reached. In the first stage, how the people at home accepted and encouraged. Second stage, how the friends encouraged, yeah, you can become a neta. Third stage, the leader in the party has seen me that I can be of some use, and then encouraged me, gave the opportunity. अब देखते देखते देखो, भगवान का भी अनुग्रह हो गया, गुरुजनों का अनुग्रह हो गया, इन सब लोगों का मदद मिला. So lo, now I am standing today as this or that high scientist. How many people have encouraged him to reach to that level of subtle inquiry to discover that scientific truth? A poet for that matter. हर एक जगह पे ना लाखों लोग मिलते हैं, तो एक बंदे के द्वारा वो विजय होता है बाहर. तो here this man, the disciple, he is in awe and veneration for the experience of the truth in its sublimity and beauty and joy. He is also in the tearful, respectful surrender to the Acharya who gave the Bherinada, in spite of I myself was not wanting to wake up or liking. Then he in his heart therefore became so full of gratitude. Then he just accounted or remembered who have right from the beginning have brought him in this manner to this path and to this stage. Each one contributed different way, but all of them put together have helped me to come to this place. And finally, thanking himself that he allowed those exposures, those trainings to be given. है ना, सब मिल रहा है लेकिन जो उसको स्वीकार नहीं करते हैं तो नो वेयर दे रीच ना. So this is how this 13th mantra concluded. Then in the 14th one, the naming ceremony of that Brahma Anubhuti, Brahman, is called as Idandra. Later on, Indra. Okay, the purpose of saying this is two. One, why the Paramatma is called as Indra in all Shastras, उस definition को यहाँ दिया गया है वो वाला. Second is most important is what? As we explained 7-8 times, that every time the Brahma Vidya is always at the time of teaching, learning, it is Paroksha. When I am disciple, listen from my Guru, it is Paroksha. When I become Guru and tell to my disciples, it is Paroksha. But in between only, through the sadhana, it is Aparoksha Anubhuti. Therefore, yesterday as we concluded, that it's an Aparoksha Anubhuti, therefore why should I listen it to Paroksha Rupena? ऐसा करके let us not leave our Paroksha listening, means listening of Shastra, Paroksha Bhavena from the Gurus. Same way, while listening from the Guru Paroksha Bhavena, don't get satisfied with that Paroksha Jnanam. No, it has to be Aparoksha Anubhuti. For that, whatever meditational, internal sadhanas have to be done, they have to be done. And once you experience it, how much ever struggle you do, that paroksha, aparoksha anubhuti cannot be as it is conveyed to others. Then what is left? What your gurus have done to you, you do same thing to the next generation. That is parokshena, you go on teaching. But that fellow wants pratyaksha. Pratyaksha cannot be given. It has to be revealed inside. And he sits on the meditation seat. All that helps for that is the paroksha. He must listen. You tell whether they receive or not. Like Gurudev. He went on telling whether others read. I do that only. Adi Shankara went on writing books whether somebody reads or not. कोई ना कोई पढ़ेगा. You know, the fruits the tree bears. Whoever comes they eat. It can be a bird or an animal or a human. How does it matter? मैं तो फल दे सकता हूँ, दे दिया. बस जिसको खाना है खा लो. नदी बहती है, किसी के लिए, कोई मछली हो, मगरमच्छ हो, कोई जंतु पानी पीवे या कोई ह्यूमन बीइंग. हाउ डज इट आई गो ऑन फ्लोइंग. Gulab, it goes on gives fragrance. Whoever enjoys it. Every flower bears the honey. Which honeybee comes and takes, it doesn't bother. That is post realization how the gurus work in the universe out of their karuna, krupa, compassion. But before that, aparoksha anubhuti. Before that, paroksha jnana. Without paroksha jnanam, you can't try and get the aparoksha. Without aparoksha anubhuti, moksha will not come. That is what is touched in this particular shloka. Tasmadidandro nama. Okay. Yasmat idam iti eva yat sakshat aparokshat brahma sarvantaram apashyat parokshena. है ना, अपरोक्ष अपश्यत and parokshena. Tasmat idandro nama. So paroksha he heard, experienced aparoksha. Now while talking he is talking paroksha rupena. Tasmat idandro nama, idandro havai nama. That idamdra we have explained. Idam drushtavan asmi. Okay, idam rupena I heard from my guru. But drushtavan asmi aparokshanamoti. But having experience when I have to tell either as a report or teaching to others, again idam rupena only I have to tell. Objectively. So objective teaching learning, subjective experience. There should never be doubt regarding the necessity of both. For the moksha, the subjective experience is required. But to walk on the path other than the objective learning, means learning is always objective. How can you know about it? सो आत्मा को कोई बोल नहीं सकता, लेकिन बिना बोले आत्मा का स्वरूप का सैद्धांतिक ज्ञान नहीं मिलेगा. और आत्मा का अनुभव के बिना केवल सिद्धांत ज्ञान अनात्म बंधन से मुक्ति नहीं देगा. इसलिए अनुभव भी पाना है. अपरोक्षानुभूति इट इज कॉल्ड यत् साक्षात अपरोक्षात ब्रह्म. Therefore idam dra, one da is gone, is become indra. So what it indicates? Parabrahma is named as Indra. He is Idandra. He is Idam Rupena, heard from the Guru. Drashtavan Asmi as the Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti. Again to the next generation, he talks again as Idam Rupena. That is how the parampara is going on. In that parampara, Guru, Shishya, their Dvaita, their Sambandha, and the teachings that are given in the Shastra, which have the word, which have the literal meaning, none of them are Brahman. In Brahman, none of them are there. But there is no way other than this to experience. See that relationless relationship. In pure Brahman, Guru Naiva Shishya, na Shastra, na Nirado, na Chotpatti, na Baddho, na Cha Sadhaka, na Mukshu, na Vaimukta, Itesha Paramartata, we have seen in Mandukya. इन ब्राह्मण गुरु नहीं, शिष्य नहीं, कोई सत्संग नहीं है, कोई शास्त्र नहीं, कुछ नहीं, बिकॉज इट इज बियॉन्ड ऑल दिस वन विदाउट सेकंड सटल मोस्ट. बट this is what going on from the Srishti Adi till now, millions of lakhs of years in that parampara रूपेण. वो वाला सटलिटी, वो वाला जादू को हमको पकड़ना है कि गुरु बता ही जा रहे हैं, शिष्य सुन ही जा रहे हैं, उसके बारे में जो बता नहीं सकते सुन नहीं सकते. बट इसका ऐसे ही तरीका चलता है. But every genuine disciple, when he heard from the genuine Guru, genuinely the subject, he could smilingly understand the need of Paroksha Jnanam and vigorously could do the sadhana for Aparoksha Anubhuti. There no doubt. Beautiful, isn't it? What a great thing it is. You know, some things cannot be put in words. One of the things is this Guru Parampara. With full faith, teachers, gurus teaching the children, citizen, disciple having learned, practicing, experiencing, with equally faith taken from the guru, they teach their next generation. ऐसे millions of years से चल रहा है. Millions. पता नहीं कब से सृष्टि स्टार्ट हुआ तब से. Okay. So संतम इंद्र इति आचक्षते परोक्षेण परोक्ष प्रियाय वहि देवाः परोक्ष प्रियाय वहि देवाः. तो तस्मात् इदं पश्यति इति. ओके, इदंद्रः नाम परमात्मा. Idam pashyatiti idandra nama paramatma. So another twist which we have not shared yesterday here is what? For that paramatma, all that is idam rupena only seen. Objective. Because in paramatma these things are not there. But for the idam, all of paramatma has to be experienced as aham rupena. Tasmad idam pashyatiti idandraha. Why for paramatma all these are seen as idaram? Idam because he is pure sakshi only, no? He is a darshaka, he is a sakshi, he is a seer. Therefore, for him the whole thing is idam rupena only. But in that idam, you and I are there as jiva. We cannot have that Brahman as idam rupena. It won't give moksha. उस ब्रह्म को हमें अहम रूप में अनुभव में लाना है. सो तस्मात् इदम पश्यति इदंद्रः नाम परमात्मा. इदंद्रोह वै नाम प्रसिद्धः लोके ईश्वरः. तो ईश्वर is famous in this world by the name Idandra in the Upanishads. Okay. तमेव इदंद्रम संतम इंद्र इति परोक्षेण परोक्ष अभिधानेन आचक्षते ब्रह्मविदः. The same Idandra is called as Indra. Why Brahmavita? They have taken that liberation. One they have done lupta. Okay. Samyavahara artha. For the sake of Samyavahara. The meaning, the thing given is there. Puchatamatvat pratyaksha nama grahana bhayatu. This is what is little subtler thing, you know. These are very intricate things, you know. Click hona padta hai Prabhu Kripa se. I explained to you yesterday with so many of examples this point. You know, Paramatma, when he is experienced aparokshena, then only he gives moksha. And who helps us in getting the moksha? The Guru Ityadi. With the Gurus, only when we remain paroksha, that we will be helped by them, blessed by them in this path to reach the goal. Just like when the Paramatma is pratyaksha, means only objective intellectual knowledge, it never liberated us, helped us. So too, when the Guru becomes pratyaksha, we take him for granted, we don't listen him. The danger is hinted at here. What is the hint here given? Very subtle, that's what I said. Ki pujatamatvat pratyaksha nama grahana bhayat. The Brahman being pujyat pujatama, he should not be taken pratyaksha rupena, paroksha only. How to convey this, which what example? Only one Indian Hindu traditional example I can give, how the beta and bahu है ना शादी का, उस माता पिता से इतना परोक्ष में रहकर जी 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 कहते हुए, विदाउट क्वेश्चनिंग देम, डाउटिंग देम, आर्ग्यूइंग देम, they obediently used to listen. You remember, by doing so, whether something positive, substantial achieved or not, that is secondary, but primarily the misunderstandings between parents, children, the argumentation, the fighting, then the bitternesses, then running away from parents, all of that never used to come. That was the greatest achievement. Be attentive about these thoughts. That love, that respect for the parents. पेरेंट्स ऑल्सो नोइंगली मेरे बच्चों को अच्छा होना है, इसलिए तो they used to give advice. Those advices sometimes used to work or doesn't work, but their intention was beautiful. Children also, sometimes papa's idea works or not, but father mother are important, so they used to listen. So there was the sacredness given to that love, the respect, being together. That was the achievement. How it was maintained? Parokshed. They kept the parents always the highest pedal. ऊपर है बस pedestal, not pedal. They are the top pedal बस. Very interesting. And these children might have studied or businessmen पैसे वाले हुए होंगे उस समय की बात, अब नहीं है, सब चला गया. Still parents are uneducated, nothing but parents are God. That's the meaning of parokshena. We have to remain with parents and elders and guru. The definition of the meaning of paroksha means we just have to obediently receive what they say, because it is not the outer grosser things that are achieved, which has become the only purpose in today's wretched world. It is the love, devotion that my parents, that was overpowering everything else. To maintain that, the paroksha, that was always in the hands of parents. एक ठिकाने पे रखते थे बच्चों को बचपन से, वही टिके रहते थे बच्चे. Nowadays, who is spoiling children? Not children, no, the parents, by putting them on the head. है ना, दे प्रत्यक्षता इतना मिल जाता है उन बच्चों को, देन दे टेक द बाप फॉर ग्रांटेड, माता पिता. है ना, जब माता पिता को जिसने टेक इट फॉर ग्रांटेड की, एनी गुरु, एनी आचार्य, एनी एल्डर, एनीवेयर ही ट्राइज टू एडवाइस, मेरे बाप की बात नहीं सुना, तुम्हारा मैं कहाँ सुनूं, दैट एटीट्यूड. The total maja of being together is lost. Therefore, nobody is together. Everybody is independently like a pashu, getting his own artha kama bhoga and getting frustrated, his inner weaknesses and all. And nobody talks outside, but everybody is in suffering inside. With all the riches, mind you, outside. All started from that parokshata. Parokshata nahi rakha, pratyakshata rakha. You have to be paroksha only with all elders. परोक्ष मीन्स थोड़ा हायर पेडेस्टल में रख के दूर से रहना. हाँ, वंडरफुल, परोक्ष. 30-40 years that Bahu has never looked into the eyes of Sasoma or Sasurji. Nowadays we can't talk all that. Nowadays the Sasoma has no guts to look at that Bahu Brahma Rakshasi. Because he studied this and that, now doing naukari, getting more salary than the son. Narayana. Here this sentence is so sacred, कि पूज्यतमत्वात् प्रत्यक्ष नाम ग्रहणम ग्रहण भयात्, प्रत्यक्ष नाम ग्रहण भयात्. Because the Brahman is respectful, reverential, you cannot take the pratyaksha rupena Brahma's name. Therefore Brahman, though is idandra, थोड़ा परोक्ष करके इंद्र उनको कह दिया, out of respect. है ना जी. देखो दैट सासो माँ, बहू रानी, क्या बंद सुंदर बात है कि नहीं. शी विल कॉल द मदर, सासो है तो माँ ओनली, एंड ये अपने बहू को रानी देखनी चाहती. बहू रानी. वैसे तो लोग तो ऐसे थे, नौकर को भी रानी बनाते थे, नौकर रानी बहु रानी. These are all attitudes. This we are missing today. Main is parents because of their too much attachments. Why do they have attachment? Because the Bevaku, they have forgotten that they have come as human to know the Paramatma. The main goal, when you forget, the wretched things become goal. And when you forget your goal of coming to Upanishad class and all, you just waste time of yours and your grandchildren. दोनों घूमने जाते सुबह सुबह वेदांत क्लास के टाइम. When you don't have higher goal, you will fall to every useless thing. And unfortunately, we have sufficient ego, sufficient intellection, sufficient data, sufficient quotations to justify. Yesterday, some of the topic we discussed exhaustively this one. Once we start justifying, remember the grace starts going away. In Telugu class yesterday, half an hour I spoke on this. How do we justify our own choices on the pretext of taking permission from the gurus to be absent from the classes? Then slowly we go totally away and nobody asks us, so you have nobody to tell. Therefore, we go back to either sleep or the worldliness, and such a glorious opportunity of growing spiritually is left, not even caring that also. Like the whole country never bothers when the Hindu Sanatana Dharma is not brought up to the limelight. Neither government nor the corporates nor the private business people nor the individual, सब अपना अपना इंडिविजुअल पूजा करते हैं. बेवकूफ, इंडिविजुअल करने से कभी मोक्ष नहीं मिलता. You have to bring the Sanatana Dharma to the total universal level. For that, consciously everybody will have to put effort. Otherwise, any third day, any other useless religion fellow comes, his only job is to project that religion and suppress Hinduism. And we, like a Muraka, only watch without responding, reacting, isn't it? This is how the calamity of Hinduism, it has got we as useless custodians. Energyless, manliness less, no inspiration, no potency, nikamme, napumsak. See the other religions, half religions, unbaked religions, but the people are so strong there. हिंदुइज्म का ये है, लानत है कि हम इस हिंदुइज्म को मिले हैं. वो राक्षस, स्वार्थी, भोगी, यूजलेस फेलोस. अब क्या करें हिंदुइज्म को भाई? अब इससे बड़ा पूरे सड़े हुए बैंगन है, अब बैंगन तो चाहिए घर में, अब करोगे क्या? वही खरीदोगे. इन द सेम वे in our life also, how we go away. For that, the explanation was justification. And once it happens, we are lost. In today's world, all this parokshena, I am explaining that word, parokshena wala yahan tak pahunch gaya. Upanishad is teaching us this. Maintain that distance, maintain that respect, reverence. Our points of respect, reverence should be kept at that highest pedestal. Don't allow any experience, any thought, anybody's any words to disturb that faith. Once it is gone, mind you, how many lives we keep away from our spiritual ladder evolution, we can't say. So, in this shloka, only 2-3 things have to be understood. One is idam rupena drishtavan, but drishtavan aham rupena, then again idam rupena uktam about Brahman. Therefore, the Brahman is called idamdra. Clear? Second point is what? Idandra nama Brahma ka hai. Directly, if you address, it is an insult to him. Therefore, he has to be spoken parokshena. Therefore, one da is dropped. Then he is called as Indra. This Indra is not that Swargavala Indra. Please remember. That Indra is Indro Mayavihi Pururupayate, the Upanishadic Indra. So whenever in the Upanishad, therefore from now onwards, Indra is Shabda you use, you listen, that is the Paroksha Nama of the Idandra. The Idandra is the definition of the Parabrahma when he is taught, when he is experienced, again when he is taught about. Idam Rupena, taught by the Guru, Idam Rupena, heard by the disciple, but Aparokshena, the disciple has got Anubhuti. Again to his next disciple, he taught Idam Rupena. Therefore, Idamdra. So this particular explanation of this slogan, nowhere you find, but is the most important thing to clarify the difference between the objective understanding of the self और subjective experience of the self. किसका क्या पोजीशन है, किसका क्या इंपॉर्टेंस. Experience the subject to one eye, then only liberation comes. But to put us on the path, we have to listen from the Guru. When the Guru teaches, he teaches through objectivity only. Objectivity means through the Shabdas, through the example. He speaks, but none of the Shabda, none of the examples are the reality. Like that example famous, Shaka Chandra Nyayam, when that crescent is there of the moon, second day, third day of Sukla Paksha, you can't see, especially in that evening of bright light time of 5:30. Then the one who has seen it, he shows. See that. कहाँ दिख रहा है मैं नहीं दिख रहा मुझे. अच्छा, you know you are standing in, yeah, you see the tree. You see that 5 branches of the tree. Those 2 branches, do you see the left side they are hanging? Yeah. Now between 2 branches you focus your attention. Between 2 branches, focus. Now there, look at that, focusing there only. Now do you see that? Yeah, I could see. Now see, in that seeing of the moon, the tree, the branches, the between of the tree branches has no meaning at all. That experience is different. But to divert the attention of this seer, these were the only means to direct his attention to that. Isn't it? Parokshena tata, pratyakshena anubhuta. In the both cases, only paroksha jnana without aproksha anubhuti, moksha will not come. Seeking the aproksha anubhuti but not ready to listen from the Guru objectively and understand and practice, then also sadhana will not happen. So that is once for all, nowhere it is spoken, but the very essential thing here, these Upanishads clears to us. So with this, we announce the conclusion of the chapter 1 with 3 khandas of this Aitareya Upanishad of Rigveda by the grace of the God Guru Parampara. Iti Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Govinda Bhagavat Pujya Pada Shishya Srimad Shankara Bhagavata Kruta Aitareya Upanishad भाष्ये प्रथम अध्याये तृतीयः खण्डः समाप्तः. उपनिषद क्रमेण प्रथमः आरण्यक क्रमेण चतुर्थोऽध्यायः समाप्त. इन वेद के रूप में आरण्यक में चतुर्थोध्याय है, उपनिषद में फर्स्ट अध्याय. बिकॉज इन द आरण्यक देयर आर फर्स्ट 3 अध्यायस व्हिच वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कर्म कांड, देन द 4, 5, 6 अध्यायस आर द उपनिषद. सो दैट वे इट इज डन. नाउ अस्मिन् चतुर्थे अध्याय एष वाक्यार्थः. So this चतुर्थ अध्याय which you have studied so far, the vakyartha of that is this. What we have discussed yesterday, today, now we are authentically listening from Bhagavan Adi Shankar. And what is the topic we are going to discuss? The way the whole Srishti Krama is told of the Brahman, including his entry, pravesha and getting bound and sleeping, even though so much of Mudgara Prahara, ये सब बताया ना हमको. And the next portion of Acharya coming in our life and doing very nada. इन सब का क्या अर्थ है, क्या पर्पस है, the whole thing Shankara Bhagavan so beautifully puts. While he is explaining all that, Pura Pakshi has some salient, genuine doubts to ask. And while answering them, Shankara lifts not only in this context of Aitareya, but everywhere. What is seen and shown can be anything. But through that, you should be able to recognize the Brahman or the truth or reality. It is in your genius that you, in spite of everything seen and shown, are able to see the reality. That is your freedom. And it is possible. Like पूरा पत्थर कंकर रोड में है, कांटे हैं. No, you cannot go on removing patthar kankad all the time. You can't blame anyone. You can't ask others to remove it. They're all difficult and impossible techniques. The best is what? You can buy a pair of shoes. No? When you wear them, you are free from all those problems. Isn't it? You can't change the weather of heat and cold, but you can protect yourself by being in your own house and wearing your warm clothes. In the same way, how the world is, Maya, how is it working, what is presented, we don't have command on it. But we always have the option or choice that we can see in it, that Paramatma, that making us realize the presence of that choice and making us execute that is the purpose of the teaching of Upanishads. I have chosen to see Brahman. You will see nothing other than Brahman. If you have not chosen to see Brahman, then you are shown so many things which are sufficient to confuse us. Hyderabad, they are developed in this topic. Very good one. अच्छा है ये, तो ना 2-4 दिन लगेगा हमको, पढ़ेंगे. ओम 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 पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. ओम श्री श्रुति माता की जय. परम ऋषिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुति मात्रम तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. थैंक यू फॉर पेशेंट लिसनिंग. ग्रेट लिसनर्स यू आर. पिछले जन्म में आपने मुझे इतना इतना सुनाया होगा. अब आपको सुनना पड़ रहा है. बदले की आग. बदला बदलना बदलावे की आग.